So then, and you could tell, I think they were running a little long because most of Jey Uso's entrance was in break. You saw him coming in, and he had a long way to go, and they had to get this thing going because they had 2 hours, and this was the fifth match. And by the time they got him in and rung the bell, Jey Uso and Logan Paul for the world title, the bell rang at 9:50 p.m. Eastern. We're barely 10 minutes on the air left, so they opened up fast, went 1 minute. Logan Paul did a dive, and they went to the break. There was 8 minutes left on the air when they went to the break. And they came back. It was a short break, I believe, only about 2.5 minutes. But when they come back, Jey had already made the comeback and the ass in the face. And they're doing false finishes. And they did a number of false finishes. Logan Paul got one, and Jey Uso got one, and got another one. And then they had pulled the turnbuckle pad off Logan Paul had on one of the middle turnbuckles. And Logan Paul ran Uso into that and then hit him with the knockout punch and got a 2 count. That old knockout punch ain't what it used to be. And then Uso hits a super kick and goes to the top and hits a big splash and 1, 2, and all of a sudden the referee whoosh, gets whisked out of the ring like a tablecloth, and it's John Cena. Pulled him out on the floor and jumped into the ring and started beating the shit out of Jey. And then music plays, and here comes Cody. And he hits the ring, and he gets on John Cena. And he hit the crossroads for the first time ever when he hit his back, meaning Cody, Cena still had about another 30 seconds before he landed. He just landed on top of boom and walked off. And then Jey speared Logan Paul and hit the splash off the top, and the referee counted 1, 2, 3, despite being pulled out on the floor by the aforementioned John Cena. And then so Jey won, and Cody got on a microphone and says, "You've ruined enough," and my DVR froze. So they were right down to the nub on time. Have you ever seen a more rushed match than this as a main event on a network TV special?
Well, it definitely seemed like they were going long when they went to the main event, and I looked at the clock. I was like, oh my God, what's on at 10? And then I realized, yeah, there is programming on at 10, and it's NBC's like, it was Dateline or something. And they were right at the limit, if not a little bit past it. And they set up the match for Money in the Bank. Cody Rhodes' return match will be teaming with Jey Uso against John Cena and Logan Paul. What do you think?
Well, that's all fine. I'm fine with that. I would have liked to have seen more than 4 minutes of this fucking match on the air and try to get the angle in at the end when you've got 2 fucking hours. Get the angle in at the end with enough time that the announcers can reinforce it for 30 seconds and my DVR can have a chance to fucking do its temperamental shit. But this was right down to the nub.
Yeah, you know NBC put a lot of commercials in when TKO said, this is too commercialized.
But that was Saturday night's main event, and I would like to see the tag team match. I'd like to have seen a little bit more of some of these things just for the sake of it. It was, again, it's like you're either starved or you're force-fed to the point of nausea.
Well, we'll see what happens. Of course, we're on the road to Money in the Bank. We'll hopefully see Jesse Ventura again on this show. That would be a awful way for his swan song to transpire.
I think if to see Jesse in the future, I think we need to find that particular home that he'll be residing in for dealing with some of his dementia-related issues.
Oh, stop it. Will you stop it? Dementia-related issues.
I think that there'll be a day where we can bring Governor Jesse some
I've got more important things on my mind, like MI5.
Yeah, well, he's going to have some MIs up his yin-yang as they're testing him for the cognitive decline that he's suffering. So I think we need to bring Jesse some peach cobbler every Sunday afternoon in the new home they're putting him in.
Well, maybe I would still watch him as a commentator, but that was Saturday night's main event. And of course, Jim, if you watch John Cena here, you may watch him and go, that man is not snug. That man does not squeeze a headlock. That man does not grip a crossface. It's wonderful for his opponents. They don't have to worry about a cauliflower ear from working with Mr. Cena. And if they had one, they may have hearing loss. And of course, hearing loss inflicts so many, if inflict is in fact the word we want to use here, all throughout the land.
It inflicts
there are so many who have hearing loss from everyday activity. And of course, some are, I guess, just born with it. Well, not I guess, they are. We're talking about you, mom and pop, or whoever you are at home, all alone. Maybe you're by yourself. But hearing is something that can escort you throughout the rest of your way, listening to music, podcasts, and of course, everyday conversation. Jim, I'm sure you have something to say about MD hearing.
It's hard to hear things when you can't hear. That's why that you need to hear me now. Well, that's a good question, Brian. How are the folks hearing me now? If the folks that need hearing aids because they can't hear, how are they hearing me now if they still need the hearing aid? So I can tell them about the hearing aid that they so desperately need. It's all a vicious catch-22, ladies and gentlemen. But I'll tell you one thing, regardless of the stiffness of the headlocks, I don't know if somebody can just take a good slap to the side of the head and be benefited by MD hearing. But if you're like so many Americans or other peoples of other lands around the world, and you can't afford gas and food, and everything's getting more expensive, and everything's inflation, and you just say, I'm just going to put off the hearing aid thing. It's too expensive. Well, that's where MD hearing comes into play, because the prices may be crazy at the clinics or the doctor's receptacles at the various, is that a word, Brian? Like inflicts? If you're having inflicted
doctor's
receptacles, no, you don't need to do that anymore. MD hearing.
You don't need to do that anymore. No,
you don't need to do that anymore, because MD hearing is featuring low-cost, high-quality hearing aids. $297 for a pair of hearing aids this good is absolutely just burjork, just completely crazy, go mad nuts. And they've recently cut their prices to make these more affordable to the general public, because the general public can't hear it thunder. That's why you're seeing a lot more people run down in the streets, Brian, because they can't hear when the guy honks his horn or screams, "Get out of the fucking way, I'm going to run you down," and boom.
For the record, we don't have any evidence to show that there is any
statistics prove that most people that are run down at a high rate of speed don't. No, I'm telling you,
if you had those statistics, it could possibly prove that. You don't, it won't.
This is true. The statistics are that most people that are run down at a high rate of speed by a motor vehicle do not survive. I'm just telling you. That's science right there. It's the science of the lambs. So, folks, again,
you sounded serious. You actually made me believe you for a second, and then the science of the lambs.
Well, because it's true. Think about it. And the folks at MD Hearing want you to be able to afford these. And as I mentioned, I've given a pair to Stacy's stepfather, who has a little problem with the hearing there, and now he hates the whole family. He hears everything that we say about him. But folks, MD Hearing was founded by an ENT surgeon who saw how many of his patients needed hearing aids but couldn't afford them. And that's why he wanted to make his mission developing a quality hearing aid that anybody could afford. And he has done so here because they've sold over 2 million hearing aids. Did you know that 2 million people were not just trying to imitate Steve Austin when they said, what? 2 million hearing aids they've sold.
Those were potential clients for MD Hearing, and hopefully they hear this
They couldn't hear a goddamn. They kept saying, turn it up. What? What? Turn it up. We can't hear you, goddamn it. I tell Stace that all the time. She believes me too.
You know, I hate to cost us any business, but MD Hearing should probably contact Steve Austin about doing commercials. Just based off the what thing.
But he would charge so much that they would take the money they're paying us and pay him, and then we'd be out in the cold. And then we'd be saying, what?
What?
Folks, they offer a 45-day risk-free trial with a 100% money-back guarantee so that you can sample this fine product before you fully commit to a lifelong relationship, and you have confidence that they're not going to hornswoggle you. And they were just selected to be the hearing aid supplier for top Medicare Advantage plans. So they're a brand you can trust because they're hooked in with the babyface part of the government, Medicare. Get the high quality, affordable hearing aids you deserve with MD Hearing, folks. Go to Shop MD Hearing and use the promo code JCE to get a pair of hearing aids for just $297. That's $150 less an ear, for heaven's sake. As a matter of fact, if you have recently lost an ear in some type of, wrestling ring-related catastrophe like Mick Foley, contact them and see if they'll just sell you one, because why the fuck would they penalize you? That'd be anti-discrimination laws of some kind. One-eared people unite. ShopMDHearing.com and use the promo code JCE. Hearing aids, just $297 if you need both, and a free extra charging case. That's a $100 value. They're throwing that in there. Brian, do you think if you only needed one, will they work with you?
Well, you buy the pair, you have the pair. Of course, a lot of us have hearing loss. I have hearing loss from years ago in concerts and being way too careless about my ears. And of course, now I have a way to hear everything.
You just let your ears go when you were younger, just go everywhere, unaccompanied, and associate with a lower class of people.
Now they have MD Hearing to accompany them. Jim, what's that promo code one last time?
JCE.
MDHearing.com/JCE.
Well, no, shopMDHearing.com, but you asked for the promo code. You didn't specify you wanted the whole shebang.
Jim,
there.
What's that shebang website?
Well, shapoopy, go to shopMDHearing.com and use the promo code JCE to get the pair of hearing aids and a charging case, $297. That's $149 per ear. One-eared people inquire separately.